Welcome back to Skater Fit U. So we're going to grind out what is known as a double foot pivot. There are several different types of pivots, but with this one, we're going to go into like a few different exercises. So not necessarily, we'll progress right from beginner to a higher intermediate, but what we're really going to do is mainly going to focus on these different little exercises so that way you guys can practice these and develop your own style of pivoting, or not necessarily style, but your own swag when it comes down to it, right? Because it's not really a huge style differences. It's mainly like two of them, right? Detroit and East Coast, Uptown, Jersey, New York style, right? So first things first, we got to understand posture. You know how I go over every single class. We got to make sure we're in the right position, right? We got to make sure that we're either at a 4 or we're at a 3. 3 is typically when we bounce into a 4, right? 3 to 4. That's usually when we're making the pivot happen, right? The pivot prep and and making the pivot happen. So as I prep, I want to prep, boom, right? That's my prep. So it's a bounce, bounce. Once I prep, boom, boom, then that lets me know or my initiation to make that pivot happen, right? No matter what pivot you do, the pivot's going to happen. So when it comes down to a double foot pivot, these are the pivots that we'll be going over. We want to make sure that we go over heel heel, the heel heel pivot, right? We want to make sure that we go over the toe toe pivot. We want to make sure that we're going over the stagger step pivot, which is a toe toe going forward, and also the stagger step, which is a heel toe going backwards. Now, the foot that's in the back is the toe. The foot that's in the front goes on your heel, but obviously the foot that's in the back, that's the direction that we want to turn into to make that happen. So now let's go into some science, all right? So typically when you're going forward, you want to be on your toes. And when you're going backwards, you want to be on your heel. So for instance, if I'm faced this way and I want to turn that way, all right? If I'm facing, let's just say I'm going left, right? And I want to go right. What I want to do is I want to be able to pivot, not on my toes. If I pivot on my toes and I want to go back this way, pivoting on my toes is going to cause me to go forward, right? So now I'm going back to that direction that I was facing in. So if I were to pivot on my heels, it pushes me in that direction. So y'all want you to keep that in mind. When I'm pivoting forward, I want to use my toes, and when I'm pivoting backwards, I want to use my heels. This is not every single time, so don't mark it as concrete, but it's definitely base, right? That's suggestive. It's base. Like this is how we make it happen from the start. Obviously, we get into more advanced steps. We can use while going forward, or forward, we can use heels, right? And while going backwards, we can use toes. But again, that's more for like super advanced or more advanced, the more advanced stage of pivoting. So now let's go ahead and grind this out. So first things first, this first exercise that we want to work on is just a simple 45-degree pivot. So I always start off going with the harder route than the other, right? So then the easier or ladder, whatever you want to call it. So let's just say I'm facing perpendicular to what the camera is, right? Which I am, but I'm gonna be facing to the left right now. But the direction really doesn't matter. It's just perpendicular towards the camera. What I want to do is I want to use my heel and I want to pivot 45 degrees, 45 degrees, 45 degrees, and then 45 degrees. So it's 4 pivots in total, and it's going to be a slow progressional challenge, okay? So how you do it is this. It's 45, 45, 45, 45, okay? Now, as I'm doing this, I'm not really emphasizing what I went over earlier, which is use your bounce to get you there, because the reason why is this 45 is not that hard to do, but it's definitely a small challenge for those who have never done it before. So with the 45, you kind of want to either stay at 3, right? and then jerk up to 4 just a little bit, right? Or if you have your balance together already, then staying at 4 is fine. Level 4 is fine. Boom. But the other thing is you also want to lead with your upper body. Shoulders and head will lead this move. Shoulders first. Ah. Shoulders. 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 You get the drift? Okay, so let's do it. Slow progressional challenge. 45, 45, 45, 45. 5, 6, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And so on and so forth. You just continue to go as fast as you can. You build up your ability to do it. Now jumping forward, before we move to the next video, let's do it on our heels or our toes, okay? So toes is the same thing, except for instead of us going around towards the camera, actually we'll do that. We'll use the back end of this, of our footing, and we're gonna swing our bum instead of our knees, okay? So we're gonna swing our bum towards the back side, okay? So now what I'm going to do is I'm gonna swing around this way so you guys can still see me. All right, 5, 6, 5, 6, 45 degrees. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And that's how you do it. So let's go ahead and move on to the next video.